the two operations of our understanding, intuition and deduction, on which alone we have said we must rely in the acquisition of knowledge. Perfect numbers like perfect men are very rare. These long chains of perfectly simple and easy reasonings by means of which geometers are accustomed to carry out their most difficult demonstrations had led me to fancy that everything that can fall under human knowledge forms a similar sequence. Mathematics is a more powerful instrument of knowledge than any other that has been bequeathed to us by human agency. Among all those who up to this time made discoveries in the sciences, it was the mathematicians alone who had been able to arrive at demonstrations. For me, everything in nature is mathematics. If we possessed a thorough knowledge of all the parts of the seed of any animal, we could from that alone deduce the whole conformation and figure of each of its members. Each problem that I solved became a rule which served afterwards to solve other problems. If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things. We never understand a thing so well, and make it our own, as when we have discovered it for ourselves. If I found any new truths in the sciences, I can say that they follow from, or depend on, 5 or 6 principal problems which I succeeded in solving and which I regard as so many battles where the fortunes of war were on my side. It is true that medicine as it is currently practiced contains little of much use. Divide each difficulty into as many parts as is feasible and necessary to resolve it. The chief cause of human errors is to be found in the prejudices picked up in childhood. I hope that posterity will judge me kindly, not only as to the things which I have explained, but also to those which I have intentionally omitted so as to leave to others the pleasure of discovery. It is only prudent never to place complete confidence in that by which we have even once been deceived. I also considered how the same person, with the same mind, who was brought up from infancy either among the French or the Germans, becomes different from what they would have been if they had always lived among the Chinese or among the cannibals. It is not enough to have a good mind, the main thing is to use it well. Even the mind depends so much on temperament and the disposition of one's bodily organs that, if it is possible to find a way to make people generally wiser and more skillful than they have been in the past, I believe that we should look for it in medicine. Whenever anyone has offended me, I try to raise my soul so high that the offense cannot reach it. To live without philosophizing is in truth the same as keeping the eyes closed without attempting to open them. There is nothing so strange and so unbelievable that it has not been said by one philosopher or another. In order to seek truth, it is necessary once in the course of our life to doubt, as far as possible, of all things. Truths will be discovered by an individual rather than a whole people. The first precept was never to accept a thing as true until I knew it as such without a single doubt. One cannot conceive anything so strange and so implausible that it has not already been said by one philosopher or another. We do not describe the world we see the world we can describe. Because reason is the only thing that makes us men, and distinguishes us from the beasts, I would prefer to believe that it exists, in its entirety, in each of us. To live without philosophizing is in truth the same as keeping the eyes closed without attempting to open them. It is in the nature of our mind to construct general propositions on the basis of our knowledge of particular ones. Our convictions result from custom and example very much more than from any knowledge that is certain. When it is not in our power to follow what is true, we ought to follow what is most probable. An optimist may see a light where there is none, but why must the pessimist always run to blow it out? I could not possibly be of such a nature as I am, and yet have in my mind the idea of a God, if God did not in reality exist. By God, I understand a substance which is infinite, independent, supremely intelligent, supremely powerful. The reading of all good books is like conversation with the finest men of past centuries. When I was examining what I was, I realized that I could pretend that I had no body, but I could not pretend in the same way that I did not exist. I paid special attention to arithmetic and geometry. But in my opinion, all things in nature occur mathematically.